So obviously I do want to get into, some of these goals that you have, like your stated goals.
Yeah.
But this podcast, a lot of our viewership is creatives.
Yeah.
So right now, a big thing for the creatives, especially in Norfolk where you're running, is they're shutting down venues where we throw a lot of shows at.
Yeah.
Do you have any insider information on that? Will you do anything to help alleviate these troubles or concerns that people have with these venues shutting down?
Absolutely. So it starts from the beginning. We're gonna edit this.
So we usually do a straight through combo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, fine. We'll keep it real. I'm gonna start sweating, so I need
open that window a little bit, Kieran. We had the heat on in here maybe for a bit too long.
It's probably the jacket too. So
yeah.
I love.
Would you like a paper towel?
Yeah.
Can you grab them, that too?
Yeah, a couple of those.
Yeah. So what else are the requirements? You need 125 signatures.
You got to be at least 18. You have to be a citizen of the place you're running for, and you have to have. You can't be a felon, but if you are a felon, you have to have your rights restored, and then from there you got to get the signatures, which is the support and show the due diligence on your part, and then from there you can get your name on the ballot.
So Trump can be president as a felon, but you can't be in city council as a felon?
That is a strange query how you just put that, but yeah, I mean, what got me into running for city council, a lot of word of mouth, people saying you'll be good, you could represent a city the same way you represent your clients, and it kind of naturally, organically got to this point.
You had me, me and Karen were laughing because I was going through your Instagram and you had you were taking pictures with your clients from attorney, and then you were talking about how you got them off, and you had the emoji, and I was like, bro.
Yeah. You can't say too much, man.
Can't say too much.
Yeah, you can't say too much.
Feds watching.
It's all about controlling the narrative. That's what I tell everybody. We want to control the narrative. Loaded question, but good question. So I guess to answer the first part, I mean, there's no real path to public service. I mean, well, I'll take that back. You want to kind of start out in your civic leagues. That's why another reason why I'm untraditional. I mean, I am an attorney that helps it out because I have been helping out the community. But you want to start off in your civic leagues, get on a board within your city, go to civic league meetings, go to city council meetings.
And you're untraditional because you didn't do those things?
I didn't do any of that. I just jumped in it. But sometimes, most of the times in life, you don't want to kind of wait around. Just do it and to see what happens from it and kind of go from there, which can make a lot of things go for you and open a lot of doors, which is done for me and it's going to continue to do for me. So, but about how I got into it, I mean, being a lawyer, I'm from Virginia Beach.
So you were raised in Virginia Beach? Well,
yeah, raised in Virginia Beach. All my family is Jamaican. I got here when I was 5, Virginia Beach. Graduated from Tallwood. Went to school in Louisiana to play football. Came back here, worked with a sports agent, realized I wasn't going to play football because I got there. They took my scholarship away because I was too small in their eyes. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Then I went back down to Louisiana to practice law. Then I came back here, passed the bar in 2016. I've been practicing law in Norfolk ever since. So I've been in Norfolk about 8 years now. So that kind of got me into that. And then that's what got me into getting to know a lot of people. A lot of people knew me from before. I used to do events, work with a sports agent, but they never knew me as a lawyer. So a couple people tried me out. It went well. Tell a friend. Word of mouth is going. So it started spreading. And then from there, people just started suggesting the public sector. And I wasn't really taking that. I really didn't know, to be honest with you. Because if you don't know, you don't know what it is. So, I've learned a lot about it. I think I can be very skilled with it because I genuinely do care about people. And then people always ask me, why are you going to do this? Why do you want to do it? And I always give them a politically correct response, something I think they would want to hear. And then I always kind of sit with myself and be like, why do you really want to do this? And I was like, I'm a good person. I'm genuine. I'm transparent. I want to see people win. And that's ultimately what pushed me to kind of put myself out there and do this whole thing here.
I'm assuming it's not for the money because I would say you're probably going to make way more as an attorney than a city council member.
No, they don't know. It's not for the money, brother. It's not for the money. The public sector is what it is. It's really like you're a public servant. You want to see people win. You want to see help people out. You want to see things that are wrong be right. So what a lot of people that do sit in these positions, they have regular everyday jobs. Some of them are principals, some of them are business owners, I'm an attorney. A lot of politicians are attorneys, so that kind of fit right in my realm because I'm already a lawyer. I already know policy. I analyze things. I can foresee how things will play out, so that helped me out in that aspect. But you can be anybody if you want to get involved with public service. I mean, that's what it's about.
So obviously, I do want to get into some of these goals that you have, like your stated goals.
Yeah.
But this podcast, a lot of our viewership is creatives.
Yeah.
So right now, a big thing for the creatives, especially in Norfolk where you're running, is they're shutting down venues where we throw a lot of shows at.
Yeah.
Do you have any like insider information on that? Like, will you do anything to help alleviate these troubles or concerns that people have with these venues shutting down?
Absolutely. So it starts from the beginning. You have to get a conditional use permit. That's the first thing most of these businesses have to get. What makes it so hard for them to get them? You got to stay within so many guidelines. So like certain restaurants, you can't have a dance floor in there. You can't have the DJ in there. But, those certain things just have to be about communication. If you can kind of create a dialogue and say, look, this is what I want to do and streamline those type of things. Because entertainment is a major, major part of any society. It keeps people level. It gives people an outlet. And we have a casino that's coming in Norfolk, right?
I saw that, yeah. We have the one in Portsmouth now. The Norfolk one is coming.
Yeah, so you have one coming there. And it's almost like to a certain extent of, well, you have this casino that's major entertainment. So now we have those businesses that want to provide entertainment. We want to support them, not shut them down, because I think that's where the disconnect comes in at. A lot of people look at it like, oh, it's just a bunch of partying, a bunch of riffraff. But if you're actually there and you see what's going on, people are just having fun. They're living their lives. They're going home. And every once in a while, you get a pocket of negativity. But it's all about how you deter that, having the right presence of police or having the right presence of security. Or once you start getting into a flow of having a good time, that kind of takes care of itself. But the city where it's at now, I believe they're so disconnected that it's easier for them just to eliminate it. I think that's something that needs to be discussed because it is hard. A lot of businesses are shutting down. I mean, I stay down there. I see what happens in downtown Norfolk. So, I mean, it has to be some change there. And that's part of what we represent.
Yeah, I think the city doesn't really understand the creatives. And what I mean by that is I think they bunch everybody into the same group. Like if you're just talking about regular nightlife, just regular bars, I'm not going to single any club or bar out, but just where it's just regular people going out to have a good time.
Yeah.
But then you have the places where it's really creative driven, where it's actually the creatives that are going there and that's where they hang out at.
Yeah.
And I would say there's big differences in those demographics.
Absolutely.
Like just the vibe for one.
Yeah.
Like at these regular clubs or regular bars is where you might see fights or some more negative things happening. But it's just a bigger like atmosphere of love in these creative spots and like respect because you usually know somebody there or somebody that's throwing it, so you're gonna respect that. And it's just like I think the vibe is just a lot more fun and like loving.
Yeah. And
I don't know if the city really sees that. They're like bunching it in with the regular spots.
That's a very good point. And I think they do lump it all together and they don't take the time to see like there's a younger generation that is smart and creative and very, very intellectual to the point to where they know what they're doing. They know where they want to go with their lives. And this is how they want to carry themselves and conduct themselves in a fun fashion, but in a way that is productive for everybody.
Is it a race thing, you think?
It's a race thing, maybe a little bit, but I think it's more so of a misunderstanding and a generational gap. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard for them to grasp the fact that there are people that don't really look like them and hang out like them that can still be just as productive and have the same mindset and want to do the same things in different environments where it's just if it doesn't look like me and I don't know about it, then I can't really get behind it and I can't support it. But I don't think that's how any council person or any politician should look at anything because you have people from all parts of demographics living within your city or within your ward. So yeah, you got to be open-minded. That's part of politics. It's just being yourself and asking the right questions, right? Asking the right inquiries and then going from there and like taking it to the next level to try to change something. So even having me here is you being involved with politics because you change.
I guess.
Yeah, because you're helping to spread messages and the fact that you know about the beef jerky thing, like that's
that was a personal question.
But I mean, but that's how it starts though. That's how it starts. It's just like, why are these things changing? Like conversation you have with your friends, like all of that is necessarily politics. Is just at a lower level. Like that's all this is about. Is just how do we help push our communities forward in the right direction. That's really what being a politician is about.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah,
Second of all, I agree. I think authenticity is key, and that's where the disconnect I feel like has been from the regular person to the politicians. Like, we don't know if we can believe them. There's like saying these talking points, they're reading teleprompters. So we don't know if like you actually believe what you're saying. That's why I think like we said at the beginning of the episode, that's why podcasts are so big right now, because you don't have to listen to, like, it's easy to put on a front for 5 minutes for like a little soundbite. But if you really sit down and watch a podcast with a candidate or somebody, you listen to them talk for 2-3 hours. It's hard to put on a front for that long.
Yeah, it is.
So you can really see who they are and if they actually believe what they're saying.
Absolutely. You're right.
Okay. Last question, really. I guess, what has been the most challenging part of running this campaign?
Running a campaign. If people tell you like you do it, it's not for the faint of heart. Like, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of organization. It's like I said, from me getting my name on the ballot, that started back in around March, and it's just it's consistently from then. Is every day you're campaigning, you're talking to people, you're knocking on doors, you're doing meetings, you're organizing meeting with staff, you're spending money, getting donations, calling people, organizing. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's rewarding, it's fun. It's leveling me up. It's getting me to another level in my life. I appreciate it. I like politics now. So it's been great. It's been great. Honestly, it's been great.
Do you see yourself running for any other office?
I think so. We'll see how it plays out. But again, I want it to be organic type thing. Like, I think God put me in this position to do it for a reason. Like, I'm very spiritual. I keep God first, everything I do. So if it doesn't feel right there, it doesn't feel right in my gut, I'm not going to do it. But this time it definitely did and has. We'll see how it plays out. And then from there, we'll just keep it going. But I will say, no matter what, I'm going to be a philanthropist. I'm going to be a humanitarian. We're going to do stuff on our own, regardless of how this plays out. We're going to have events. We're going to start nonprofits. We're going to help the community out. We're going to get with local officials, state officials, presidential officials, and just kind of keep that conversation going. So when you see Jeremy Mason, you'll know that, whoever he has with him or what he's bringing is something serious and it's something helpful.
Jeremy Mason.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to, I know we touched on a bunch of your goals, a bunch of stuff. Is there anything else you want to touch on and leave the people with? November 5th is the last day to go vote. Yeah, November 5th is the last day to go vote. So if you haven't voted yet, please do that. It's not all about what I got going on, but it is a presidential election, and, your vote makes a big difference. This is going to be a close race, so whichever side you feel you want to land on, make sure you voice that opinion so you can say you've been a part of it. And in your local elections, make sure you do your research on your candidates there, because you don't want to get into that voting booth and go in there for the presidency and you see these other names, you don't know what they're about.